cue dramatic music and all that kind of jazz. Well, this is our little sort of experiment for ourselves, I suppose. We've got to do these things now and again. Whether you're here now or here later, we don't know. We don't care either, because, you know, it's all a bit of fun. So yeah, today Mantic Games, who we quite often chat to on our Facebook page, put up a post that kind of read along the lines of, oh, you know, COVID's already very bad and the situation's difficult, economics, costs of everything going up, and all the rest of it. It sort of sounded very kind of, oh dear, here we go, price rises across the board, cost of shipping's going up. This is not going to be good news at all. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. As you might expect, that's the sort of thing that one sees happening. Then you got to the very bottom of the post, and lo and behold, it's a discount across the board, 15% off everything. Just because people are finding it tight at the moment, life is not easy, and they thought, you know what, let's chuck some more discount at people on everything. And yeah, that's a pretty nice thing to do, especially at the minute, because obviously all their gaming stores are not their gaming stores, but the flag stores that they support are all still closed, obviously. So that's not easy. And, you know, mail order is running as best as mail order can run at these difficult times, skeleton staff and all the rest of it. So, doing what they can do, and that's fair enough. If they'd had to actually put prices up, I don't think there's anyone would have sort of batted an eyelid and got too upset about it, being like, yeah, well, you know, could see it coming. A lot of people have had to do this already. So, yeah, fair enough. It is what it is. But no, discounts instead. So because they have been either crazy to do this or jolly nice, and knowing Ronnie and chatting to him as much as we do, it's because they're very nice. So we thought we would look at a couple of box sets just to show. Now, you know what? These have been unboxed before. Probably unboxed better at that. But one, it's kind of good practice for us having to go at doing this whole live YouTube thing without too much damage. And the other thing is, there's always somebody hasn't seen it. And this is the case with so many games. Even classic sort of board games like Settlers Catan and Ticket to Ride, always coming across people who haven't seen them. There are plenty of Walking Dead fans, so if indeed you've a couple of chums who are Walking Dead fans and they're floating about, or you think, you know what, it's Friday night, probably just sitting watching stupid TV, having a beer or whatever, tag them, give them a shout, get them to come over and take a look. We will look at 2 box sets tonight. So we're going to look at Here's Negan, the board game, and we will also look at The Walking Dead All Out War. Both different sorts of games. We are not going to go down the road of any kind of review or anything like that. There are good reviews out there that you can look at. We will literally just be looking at the shinies that are inside them, because they're very shiny and they're very nice. And it's always nice to see inside new stuff. It's always fun. So yeah, there's no real sort of rhyme or reason beyond that. Do have a couple of romantic things floating about, but we'll maybe save them for something else or for another day. And probably by the time you've got to look through a couple of these things, you'll have seen enough, and you'll just be like, nah, let's go. Let's run away. We've had enough for the day. But we sort of figured we'd leave it to the 9 o'clock, because, you know, if you've been working or whatever, you got home, you've had your tea, kind of sitting down thinking, oh, here comes the long night, another lockdown night. Won't this be fun? or we're not going to make it any more fun. We're just going to add another alternative to you. So whether you're joining us now, whether you can come in now or not, it's fine, because it'll be here unless it's absolutely dire, in which case we'll hit that magic big red delete button and get rid of it. Because we haven't really played, that's the other thing, being obviously we were very kindly gifted this rather spangly new computer, which still getting the head around it and the things it can do. So doing stuff like having 2 cameras literally in operation is kind of new to us, as well as all this fading and indeed live broadcasting. So we're not experts at this. We haven't sort of got the patter down yet, and the whole nice easy flow, or choosing the right kind of clothes to wear, or sorted out backdrops and backgrounds or anything like that there. It's all just a bit random, but it is what it is. And if you don't like it, go away. And if you can tolerate it, great. Stick around and see what it's about. So we did only get to put the shout out that we were going to do this, I think probably like 10 minutes ago. So not literally expecting everybody and their mother to log in and join us. But there will hopefully be a few will have the time to come in and see what it's about. If they're not too otherwise engaged, I'm not sure what the rest even of my team is up to this evening. I think they've been doing a little bit of role playing and stuff like that. So hopefully they are being otherwise occupied. But let us crack on nonetheless and see if this is doable the way we have it set up. Anyway, so we're going to look at the Walking Dead All Out War miniatures game. Now this is out of the box, pretty much ready to go. 2 players. There's a clatter of stuff in here. Clatter being the Northern Ireland term for an awful lot, or a fair bit, as the boy says too. There are plenty of expansions for this. The expansions tend to run to sort of little character packs where you get a few miniatures, be it extra zombies, be it extra characters from the comic books. It is worth saying these games follow the comic book. So if you're a Walking Dead TV fan, you'll recognise the character names. In some cases, they got it very, very close, and you'll recognise some of the figures. But if you're looking for facial similarities, they're not really there, because these do tend to stick with the comics. Now, All Out War, we'll get the lid off this one, because still got all the lovely shrink wrap. Yeah, we should have thought about the shrink wrap before we started this. I do have a hobby knife. Isn't it a good thing that a hobbyist has a hobby knife? I'm not going to go mad and say it's an X-Acto knife, because it's not an X-Acto knife. It's just a really cheap, knacky one. But we'll try and not damage the box while we're at it. We'll just do a nice little incision. And we'll do another one down here, and that should give us enough grip. Well, we'll do this side as well when we're at it. Since we've gone to the bother getting the knife, we might as well enjoy the knife. Right, so get that all off. Right, so we do get our little window. Okay, maybe that's not environmentally friendly these days. Extra plastic that doesn't need to be there, but so what. And these are some of the characters that are going to be inside for you. A couple of the heroes and a couple of the zombies as well. I reckon a son there for a start. Carl, isn't it? So, you can see that I was cheating about the window. It isn't unnecessary wrapping, it's actually a little box that's inside, keeping the wee figures all safe and sound. But one of the nice things about this set and about sets like it is that the tray that comes with it is also your storage tray. So you don't have the pieces lying, rattling around in the box on you. Everything's got a little home, be it the cards, be it the characters, and the other components as well. Now obviously if you start adding more expansions to it, you're probably going to find that you need a little bit more space for keeping stuff if you go beyond the basic box. That being said, the basic box will keep you amused, I think, for quite some considerable time. But what all have you got in here? Well, taped down so they don't go flying around the place. We have one set of cards, two sets of cards, three sets of cards. Obligatory. Wahaha. Those are all recessed, obviously, as you can see, so that you can get those to sort of stay there. But once you have them out of their little packs, if you sort of throw those packets away, they will scatter on you. So if you're kind of being very exact, what you'll want to do when you remove these cards is keep your little wallets so that when you set them in there, they do kind of stay for you. We will look at each of these in a moment. I always find the papery parts of a game for people tend to be the slightly less exciting side of it. It's like, if that's the game, I'm all about the miniatures. Most people are. It's like the miniatures should come third, but they always end up winning the race. But we'll just get those out now so that we can take a look for those in due course. We've also got the dice for the game here as well, and I think there's quite a wad of them wedged in there. Yep. So you've got bespoke dice for wounds and taking hits, and whether you're finding stuff when you do searches, and whether you've been successful at running or sneaking and things like that there. So they are what you would call, if you're not familiar with, they are six-sided dice, but instead of being the numeric D6 that you would get in sort of a family board game, these are bespoke dice. And they have different symbols than you might be used to. So these ones down here are hits, and I would need to check what each of them means. There's one for obviously being quiet, one for running there, one for noise, I think too. Would need to re-familiarise myself with the rulebook to be sure what those are, but we can do that too. Miniatures wise then. So we've got our little family of figures here, and what we'll do is we'll pop them all out. Well, you know what, you can actually probably see them there slightly better than when we do remove them, but we will take them out anyway, just so that I can little pictures at them. Now, the one oddity about things like this here, whenever you have minis, is that quite often get them to go back in can be a bit tricky, because you have to try and remember which space. So it is a good idea if you're going for something like this, because there's the space through it, number them. Just put a color code or a number so that you know who goes into what space. It makes packing it away a little bit faster at the end of the day. So if we pop all these folks out on the table, what I should be able to do for you with a little bit of effort, it'll be manual, not too fancy. I should be able to do a little bit of a zoom in here for you. And I think the light is in our favour, so you should be able to see okay. I could, I admit, have probably wired up a third camera for a table view of the actual figure stood up. I think it was pushing the technological ladder far enough up the wall tonight, so you can just live with it, okay? If a third camera is something that we think we need, we'll investigate that in due course, shall we? Okay, so that's all the little people out for now. I'm just going to set that over to there. And then if I go up here, I should be able to zoom in. Yeah, I can. I'm zooming in way past where we need to be, but we can work with that as well. So we'll drag off the minis, that are over here, and we'll just start rattling through some of these folks for you, okay? So obviously we have Rick himself. Now, this game, I have to say, at the minute with Mantic, this game is like 20 quid, okay? So for the amount even of just miniatures, if from a gamer point of view, the miniatures are what you're about, then from that point of view, you are getting a bargain in terms of the figures. Okay, and even though it is, and even at full price, it's still a cheap game, I think, for what you're getting. The minis are good, in my humble opinion. The level of detail on them is quite crisp for little plastic injection molded figures. Now, whilst I have familiarity with The Walking Dead, I am by no means a big time fan of it. I like it and I like the genre and I've enjoyed reading some of the comics, but I wouldn't be like, what I have to do tonight is watch it. Even when it was on TV, I could walk away from the show. The comics, I've read some, but not all. So it's kind of like a few of the characters, like Carnat and Rick, yeah, fair enough. The governor and stuff like that. But generally speaking, I'm in this for the zombie killing action or the gang on gang kind of action. One of the Z's now. Now, again, we've got a fairly decent mix of zombies. Sometimes what you'll get in games like this here is that the zombies will all be kind of one of a kind or two of a kind. There'll be a woman zombie and a man zombie, and you'll have like 10 repeats of the same pose. And I don't believe that to be the case this time round with Mantic. There we go, she's missing an arm, in fact. Like a waitress. It's already been munched on there by the looks of things. And all little sort of quirky character faces to them as well. Yeah, I like that. And it's just even the detail for what it is, the detail of see the damage to the jeans and the chunks torn out of the clothes and things like that there. It's just a really nice attention to detail for what a lot of people might actually consider a sort of, I don't mean disposable as in we just buy it and chuck it in the bin, but a lot of games now the price tag is very much this is going on the shelf and it's all going to be lovingly painted. For what you're getting here, this could be considered cheap end, and therefore slightly less loved. Might not get the attention lavished on it that it deserves, and it really should. Class old dude there. So yeah, so far, no repeats. Now that actually is probably more like the waitress or housewoman because there's the apron going on there that's all torn and ripped at as well. Even the wee bow in the back of it, the wee hand-tied bow. And just look at the sort of disjointed angle of the arm. They have captured the character of zombies very well, and of course our survivors. Oh yeah, this did frightened. I mean, get back, stay away from me, like that. Got Nora Z here. So yeah, it's nice to be going through a box like this and sort of able to literally go, every miniature has been different so far. This is awesome. So often you could just grab a box like this here and go, yes, so those are the zombies, right? There's 20 of them. Thanks very much. Go away now. Here's the characters. This is the interesting part of the game. But no, we have a nice batch. Now, I would say that if you bought expansions for this, I would expect to see repeats of zombie poses. I would expect to. I'm not sure if they do. Getting our old dude here. Now, our last old dude. There you go. So, even the old dudes, expressions, they're of a similar age group in the receding hairline department, but they are not similar people at all. Gut busting open on this boy. It actually looks like he's been autopsied or something. There's like the incision, looks like the incision cuts of an autopsy in his chest. That's kind of cool. We have our survivor here. Bandana and a big knife. Cool. It's like finding the zombie. I'm actually finding the zombies a bit more interesting than the characters. It's like, I want to be a zombie player. You can't be. The zombies are kind of, because zombies hate everybody, but you can kind of box cleverly with the zombies and use them to make your opponent's life a little bit awkward by doing noise and creating noise and chaos that causes them to head over to their side of the board. This dude's got like dreadlocks going on there too. That's really nice. Another chumped arm missing there, bit of bone sticking out the bottom of it. Yeah, so yeah, every zombie is different. That is nice. I did not appreciate that before going into this, that was the case. Has he got glasses on his head? Or is that a hat? Or just his hair and the skin? It's his hat. He's wearing a hat and it's his hair. That's cool. Like a petrol, looks like a petrol pump attendant kind of uniform or something nearly. My name's Chuck. Can I help you? Baseball bat. Kind of a jock type character there. Cool. And another Zed. Ooh, he's definitely been had at. I was going to say, bar for the hair, I was thinking ex-military, but given the nature of the game, it could be sort of biker type character as well. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. Like those. So how many is that actually? That's 1, 2. Just divvy these out here into zombies and survivors. First of all, zombie, 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 survivor, survivor, zombie, 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 zombie. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 survivors. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Zs. Okay? So, pretty good. Happy with that. So let's take a look at these cards then, because they will run us through. We'll look at the big ones first. We will pan out a little bit here. No, we'll zoom in more. Let's zoom in more, make it even harder to read, shall we? So there we go. We have Rick Grimes. The cards are no, they're not double-sided. See the other game, I think it's the other game maybe are double-sided ones. But basically the cards give you everything you need to know about your card for the game, wins and what they can do, and what sort of dice options they're going to have, special rules and things like that. And then you've got places to keep any of the cards, items, damage, equipment, armor that you get. You can place them out either side of the card. With only having sort of 3 or 4 characters per side, you're going to be able to place that fairly well. I mean, this game is designed to be fairly fast, fairly easy to get to grips with, and straightforward. So card management is not going to be an awfully arduous task within that. So we've got Rick, and then we have Carl. There he is. I remember when he was young and carefree. Obviously not just as great as his dad, because he's only a kid character at this point. We have Derek, Scavenger Leader. We're good people, we are but desperate, and we'll do whatever it takes. We have Patrick, another Scavenger. He's a bruiser. And we have Sandra, Scavenger Runner. And then we have Liam. Remember the feared dude? Yeah. So he's on Rick's side. The dude that looks frightened of everything. Where did he go? That's Liam there. Looking scared at everything. Oh no. So 3 aside. Sport character, runner, bruiser, support character, and tactician. And you get slightly cool stuff to do then. Oh, and of course, we'll just have a quick look. Again, the comic book artwork on the back there. Very nice. That's just the same on the back of all of those. So other cards then. So we have All Out War, card to card for the walkers themselves. Okay, and that pretty much places what they're going to be able to do. Now we have the event deck. Just checking that I haven't mixed in up with it. So back of that, so, and as you can see, there's a brave few cards here, and as required, these will be drawn and their effects worked through depending. I think this is whether you're in the medium or high difficulty. Need to double check, or it could be a state of play. Should have lifted the rulebook out first and refreshed myself with this. Thank goodness I'm not trying to review it, just showing you it, so you can't even shout at me for that one. But I will find out. We'll probably find out when we take a look at the rulebook. I can't remember the rules for everything, dear goodness. You know, we're not professionals at this. Come along. So a whole clatter of those as well. That's twice we've used the word clatter. We'll have to try and refrain from that. So depending on the state of play, there's 3 different outcomes from those. And then we have, there's a storm coming, which is an all quiet and a low, medium, high threat. We have Alarmy remains in play if that one comes out. And the herd. Okay, cool. And a nice decent card stock on all of those as well. Now the next ones are the smaller cards, which come as supplies and equipment, I think. Yeah, supplies and equipment. So there's 2 little decks. Again, mentioned expansions for this, and I think I'm reasonably accurate in saying that the expansion, when you get them, obviously, if you're getting other characters and things like that there, you will get the character cards. I think they also do packs of the cards just on their own in case you choose to use other miniatures or whatever, I don't know. But you can get the character cards, you'll get new event cards, I think, as well. And then obviously equipment supplies come to broaden your collection of those as well for other games to make it more of a challenge. But you can probably tell even by seeing, even though you're going to be playing with the same 6 characters, you can probably tell by the amount of event cards and that the outcome and how the games will flow for you will be quite varied, even if you stick with the basic set for a while until you're happy with it. And you know what? Even if you're looking at this thing, well, I like board games and I like the idea of this, but I'm not into painting miniatures. You don't need to paint them. That's a hobby, and it's there. It's something you can do and enjoy if you want. Times like this, lockdown, ideal. Opportunity to learn and painting. So, equipment cards. Oh, supplies, sorry. So, we have ammunition reloads. There'll probably be a few of them. Bandages. There we go. Booby traps. Football pads. Hockey stick. Ooh, you found a lurker instead. Nice. Surprise zombies. Another lurker. Basic weapon, metal pipe. You found nothing. Oh, sneaky. Old gun. That's nice, nice and battered. Tire iron, a classic, and a bit of 2x4. So good range of stuff in there for reloading you or throwing a couple of nasty surprises at you. And I like the homemade improvised weapons that are there too. Cool stuff. So this is the equipment deck. So 9mm pistol, 22.22 revolver, Old Faithful, the baseball bat, kitchen knife, of course. Ha! The lucky hat. Each time Carl is reduced to 0 health points, roll a dice on a shield. Carl is not removed and is instantly restored to 1 health point. On a blank, he is dead as usual. So that's that symbol on the dice there. They're saying that if he's reduced no health points, you would roll this dice, and if the shield comes up, he comes back into the game with 1 health point. That's cute, like that. Got a .38 revolver. We have some special bandages, and we've got the hatchet. Okay, so that's our kit and caboodle. Now, as you've seen, or quite rightly probably seen, that was the box emptied. The only other thing in the box will come right back out now. The only other thing in the box was this very obscure little arrow. What on earth could this possibly be for? It's like a weather vane or a directional thing. Well, of course the box isn't empty. It's Mantic, and there's stuff hidden. Stuff hidden under here. Dun dun dun! More stuff! Because if you've been paying attention, we talked about a rulebook, and you hadn't seen that yet, had you? So now you do. There's the rulebook and stuff. And this is all sealed up in here as well. Now the box is empty. So what you got here is a little pamphlet about the products and your card components that you're going to need, tokens and that, and your game mat. Your game mat, that's right, your board that you're going to play on. So let's see if we can get this open. Again with the not exacto knife. Now we probably will not be able to fit at the minute in our current setup all of the board or the map out for you to see, but we will do our best. I'll casually discard that to the side. So this is literally a little brochure to take you through what's happening in The Walking Dead, the range of games, and the stuff that you can get for it, and of course Mantic points that you can collect as well. Just checking that. Oh yeah, there's a little sheet to start collecting your Mantic points, and they even give you 4 to kick off because you've bought a core game and the next one. Isn't that lovely? Because oh no, you can't get that one. Not in that. Yeah, you can't have that one because it's on the back of your sheet. But you'll get plenty, especially if you're getting any of the supplements. And there you'll go, look, there's Shane, Laurie, Andrea and Carl game boosters retailing for about 13 quid. Again, at the minute there's a 15% discount running across all of Mantic, so check out their web store, and you know, you can grab a few bits and pieces with an extra shilling or 2 off them, and that'd be rather nice. Yeah, okay, so seen that, pop that over to there. So The Walking Dead, read this first. So this is what we were saying, that, you know, an ideal sort of game to start out with, because you get this here and this will keep you right and get you started off. It runs through what all the components are, a little bit of assembly instructions which will explain what this rather obscure arrow is for, and then a little how to survive scenario that they'll take you through step by step on playing the game, breaking it down into the phases. There's your action phase, what happens, how noise works. Love these sort of books because they'll be taking you through the main rules, and then for something kind of odd or new or different, or something that's a sort of a special thing, particularly this game, you'll normally in a rule book nowadays get this sort of pull-out box that specialises in telling you about that new aspect that you might not be familiar with otherwise. So good to see that. And yeah, this comfortably, in nice straightforward language, runs you through all of the basics and the tutorial. Okay, so you don't have to be scared, not of the Zeds and not of learning a new game at any rate. So 2 parts to that, and a little sort of glossary of terms at the back of it, and then introduce. So over the course of the 2 parts of the tutorial there, they're sort of showing you all the basic rules, then they're showing you some of the fancy rules. So at the end of that, they've shown you all the rules relevant to the game. And then you've got the all-out war rules. And of course, once you've got that down pat, you've started to get this, anything new that comes through expansions or anything like that, there are scenario books that can be got, but we'll not, but that's a whole other thing, we'll not worry about that. will add on to this, and it should all make sense for you. But again, you won't find the main rulebook much more daunting, other than you'll start seeing stuff like this, like what's going on here? That's not the box that I've got. Obviously, you can take the game and get bigger, and you can make it more complicated. You can add more components to it. You can add more cards. You can add things like terrain. But don't let that fool you from thinking that, as it stands, this is a miniatures board game in essence that you can take out of the box and very quickly be playing. Within sort of 5-10 minutes, you'll have your bits all together and working your way through those tutorials and playing the game. Okay? But it's to sort of know that when you reach the end of it, it's not over, and there's more. You can add more to it if you want to get even more replayability out of it as well. But as I say, the main rulebook, and you know, I've read through plenty of Mantic rulebooks in my time, and they tend to be fairly good. They tend to be written with common sense in mind and not fancy terms and fancy language, and they explain like, you know, key concepts, other components, everything that they think, oh well, you know what, that makes complete sense to us because we wrote the damn thing. It might not make sense to you. It's there, a little explanation to bring home, and of course lots of flavored art, lots of bits of artwork from the comics scattered in amongst it too. So this is showing you a typical layout for your game. Okay, so you've got your game mat that we're going to look at shortly. You've got the tile components. We'll look at them shortly. You've got your character cards. You've got your miniatures ready. You've got your dice ready. You'll have your ruler and your various other tools that you're going to use to be able to play the game sitting to the side. One player, other player, bits they both need to share yourself. Boom, off you go. So all along it, it's almost like having somebody there holding your hand, helping you with it. Okay. I must remind me, we must talk about barriers and cars and things later on, but we'll do it when we come to the cardboard components, because there's a cool thing about that too. So there we go. So you can see that whilst the tutorial sort of takes you through, the rule book is really giving you the nuts and bolts. So it's everything gets its full description, everything gets explained out in full detail, and references to where to look up for this rule or that rule as well. So it can be daunting if you skip the read this first and dive into this and you're completely new to it. I would accept that it's still going to be quite daunting and a bit sort of mind melty. So don't skip the read me first book, okay? But more importantly as well, don't be put off by all the painted miniatures, by the pictures of loads and loads of miniatures. Remember that as much as this is a rule book for this game, it's also a selling tool. It is there for the more dedicated gamer, the more experienced gamer, the hobbyist who is a fan of this kind of thing. These are there to help inspire and fuel them, and also encourage them to go and get more stuff and get the expansions. That's a thing that we wargamers are guilty of, or even role players. The number of supplement books that I've got sitting on the shelf that I've never needed to refer to, but you know, you got to complete the set. So yeah, just let it be artwork, let it be pictures, and don't let it annoy you. You want to be focusing on this sort of stuff if this is your first dive into this kind of thing, because these are the pictures that are actually showing you pictorial explanations of the rules that you're reading as well. So, you know, some people learn by reading, some people learn by seeing, some people learn by doing, most people learn by some sort of combination of it all. And a good rule book like this is kind of trying its best to give you those three methods, because the tutorial book is the doing part. The picture examples is the seeing, and the reading is the wordy bits joined together. Okay, so through all that, character types, and then you know you're into that's now just again you've got a little bit at the start here. It's kind of like flavor explanation. Then you've kind of got the rules spread out with lots of full detail. Then we're into how matches work and how games work and character types. So that's the rules over with. This is just further reading on the topic. and then you're into the scenarios. And what if we're talking to the person who's kind of going, I don't know what any of this is about. Instead of like, you know, chess or Ticket to Ride or those sort of board games where you set up and there's predetermined starting positions and that's it, every game just starts the same way but ends differently. With this, you will have scenarios that tell you how to set up initially, and there'll be a little sort of story to work to, and then the game progresses as you take your turns, playing your figures and interacting with one another across the board that way. So the scenarios are like the episodes or the issues of the comic where you're dealing with different parts of the Walking Dead story as you go along. Okay, so the first one, and they'll normally start with really easy, right up to, oh my goodness, that was a challenge. It might take 2 or 3 goes to get the better of. Okay. Advanced Rules, Going Solo, covered, Elba. There are books of other scenarios. I think there's a few scenarios. I think there's a few scenarios online you can download as well. And there's a couple of books now on Mantic where it's a host of different scenarios based on the various issues. This back page looks like something you'd expect to see probably in like a science exam or whatever. But this is what we'd call a crib sheet. It's just a quick reference sheet. All the core phases and rules condensed right down, squeezed into one page. Once you're familiar with what you're doing, this will probably end up being the only page you'll refer to where you're just kind of going, oh, what phase? Oh, I'm doing that, and then we do that next. Oh, yeah, that happens now. Okay, boom, on we go. Okay, so it's there to help you, but it's not there to help you at the very start. It's there to help you once you've found your feet and taken off your learning wheels. So then we've got our map. Okay, now this is going to be bigger than we can zoom out to. I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to hold it up to the big camera. Okay, so there's me holding it. It's a bit shiny, but it is a street junction. Okay, simple as that. It's just a street junction. I'll bring a little bit of it onto the camera so that you can sort of see it in quarters or whatever here. So we've got an area for parked bus. We've got a car park kind of slightly overgrown there, and weeds coming up. We have a bit of the road there, and we have a grass verge, and the grass verge continues down the broken tarmac and stuff like that. Single-sided. It is only a paper map. If you are on, or if you are going on to the Mantic site, well, you know what? I can actually throw up the link. I don't know if I can throw you up a live link. I think that might be beyond me, but I probably can give you what do you call it? I can probably give you a link to Mantic. If I play with buttons for a moment, and if I play with buttons for a moment, I should be able to throw a link up for you. Where are we there? Forgot what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. There we go. Okay. We'll do that. And then if I dive over to here and call up Mantic Games. And I'm just going to copy and paste that for you. Copy and into there and paste. Ooh. Nope, it didn't do it for some reason. I'm maybe doing something silly. Nope, it's not wanting to go for me at all. Don't know why that would be the case. But no matter, I will simply do it this way. HTTP dotty thing / manticgames.com. I'm pretty sure there is a way to actually give you like a live link. that you could click on the screen. That is beyond me. Okay, I do not know how to do that, but I can give you that, which should be right anyway. I think it's right. Mostly right. But yeah, okay. So card components then. That's the next thing we need to worry about because you are halfway there. So the card components are pieces that are going to go. A new thing's cropped up on the screen. Who knew? There we go. The card pieces, again, if you're coming to this sort of going, what's this all about? I have no idea. These are going to be terrain pieces, obstacles for the board, your measuring devices and whatnot, first player token, things to try and find on the map, and wound markers and stuff like that there. So we have the mobile home, we've got a battered up car that they're running about in. We have some duffel bags and suitcases and cardboard boxes of potential loot. We have our threat level. So remember we were looking at the cards earlier, the event cards. We were looking at it and kind of going, all quiet, low threat, medium threat, high threat, do these things. This is the indicator that's going to decide when that happens, and that's going to happen because this is going to get plugged into that, and then at certain times you're going to be spinning that round for all you're worth and trying to not have it in the red zone, because the red zone's really bad. Don't do the red zone, it's really bad. Okay, so that pops out because this just comes apart in like 2 little bits really easily, and that centerpiece plugs out, and then you pop that in and boom, that bit's ready for you. Okay, there we go. So that's to show that you've searched those bits. You can flip that over. We've got a couple more cars. We've got an abandoned police car, or pickup truck. We've got like a 4x4 here. We've got some barriers, so these will be obstacles that your characters will have to spend points to either climb across or to get around, or that the zombies can't simply just march through. We've got our kill zone template. So this is something you'll see in the rules where, figure is here and boom, this is the area of effect they can fight with. And we've got health points there as well. Those are just going to pop out in a flash. And there's the effect area on that too. Now, I did mention earlier on when we were flicking through the rule book, barriers and stuff. Let's talk about barriers and stuff. The reason for that being, now unfortunately I have chucked out the box, but there's a great little set with Mantic, and it's the terrain booster for The Walking Dead, and it basically has the barriers and cars and everything else in actual 3D components. So this is not part of this game. This is not part of the basic box, but it's a little extra that you can get if you want to. Again, the only reason you would get this is if you like the idea of physically being able to represent that on the tabletop. And if you're going to think about getting into the painting side of it. Now, it does also include, but I probably don't have them to hand here, no my luck, but it should also include all the search items as well. And I wasn't really thinking this through earlier on. Yeah, there's some of them at least. So there's like the open boxes with beans and stuff in it, the wooden boxes, and there's like the suitcase one. Ooh. More. There is a host of them in it. There's even the little duffel bag and all too. And again, it's just they're not essential. At the end of the day, the the plastic token or the wooden counter, at least the counter has the searched icon on the back of it. But if you like enhancing the game a little bit, it does make for a nice treat to do that. And had I really been thinking ahead, I should have had this sitting over here, but I left it over there, and you know what, I'm just going to go and get it, because it's only on the other side of the room. So what if I have to move? instead of simply leaving yourself with the cardboard counters, you can also replace the vehicles with plastic ones. Okay, so there is a little set. As I say, that terrain booster set comes with 4 vehicles, comes with all the barriers. It basically comes with all the components you need for replacing all the cardboard components. It's not essential, it is just nice. They come as grey plastic, and then obviously I've gone mad and been painting these up to my heart's content as well. But that's to say the hobby side of it. If you want to go down the road of the hobby side of it, that's cool. Watch some painting videos. Again, painting is not the nightmare that you might think, and you can still have a good bit of fun. But it passes some time as well. Okay, so get those cars out of the road. So that was an unexpected bonus. You can tell your friends now you got to see the terrain expansion bits and pieces as well. Added value or what? And that's it. That's the base game. That is the Walking Dead game in a nutshell, or in some kind of shell. I'm not going to take the time to pack it all away tidily now, but sort of the general idea is that, you know, it will all fit in. Even when you've taken out your components, they'll sit under your tray for you, and your tray is there for all your figure needs as well. Okay, so yeah, that pretty much covers Walking Dead All Out War base game. You will get plenty of mileage out of it, in my humble opinion, without having to go mad. But if they are, as they seem to be at the minute, going to go crazy and throw you a pile of discount, well, you'd be kind of crazy not to take advantage of that, if that's something that's floating your boat. Okay. If you want the blurb off the back, just to give you that finally, How Will You Survive? All Out War is a game of fast-paced, head-to-head skirmishes in the world of The Walking Dead. Assemble a group of your favourite characters from the best-selling comic series, kit them out with a variety of weapons, items and abilities. Battle to achieve dominance. In the walker-strewn Atlanta cityscape, experience firsthand the desperate struggle for survival faced by Rick and his companions as you negotiate the constant threats from both the living and the dead. This is gaming as it should be: fast, furious and fun. This box contains everything 2 players need to get right into the action, including fully assembled, highly detailed plastic miniatures, dice, tokens, quick start rolls, and terrain including burnt out cars and barricades. In a world where danger is ever present, how will you survive? Okay. Oh yeah, don't know if I mentioned it, and I'll just throw it out there whilst it's in my head. The paper mat. There's scenarios that take place in other locations as well. If you go into some of the books and things, they do like neoprene mats as well, which I think are pretty much always on offer with them. I think there's a set of 3. Could probably call it up, but that's not what we're really here about at the minute. So at the end of the day, that's something you can try and check out for yourselves and see what you think. So yeah, that is that one. But we said we would hit you with the 2, so let's hit you with the 2. And Negan All Out War. And before we even set that down, let's get the plastic off. Even though it's Walking Dead, it's a different style of game, because there's no point bringing out 2 games the exact same. Just going to grab a quick mouthful of juice. Yay! That is the spot. So, with Negan, what we've got here, we'll do the blurb on this one first, shall we? Yes, let's do the blurb on this one first. Here's Negan is a cooperative board game for 1 to 5 players based on the Walking Dead comic book series. Each player takes on the role of a survivor, recruited by the ruthless Negan. Under Negan's instructions, the survivors must battle to clear out a large factory complex to create a safe haven in the brutal wilderness. By scavenging supplies, securing key objectives, and fighting the Walking Dead, the players hope to win Negan's favour and ultimately become one of his top lieutenants. 6 hero miniatures, we'll call them, 12 walkers, 16 floor tiles, 1 sort of event dial, 116 cards and tokens, 5 plastic tags, 8 dice, 106 reference cards, and 1 baseball bat. Now, it's sort of testimony to the popularity of the character himself that Negan kind of gets his own game. Fair play. He definitely did make an impact, both in the comic and in the TV show. Gotta say, like a couple of mates calling that, done the cosplay from it, and very, very impressive. It was a very evocative, eye-catching kind of character. Half of your stuff is now mine. So let's get the lid off here. This is quite a heavy box, but there's a lot more board components to this one. So again, previous game, fighting against each other. This one, as you've read, is cooperative. You're going to have an element of working together to get the solution. So straight away we're into components, and these are the tokens, or one of the sheets of tokens for this one. Familiarity, this is one of the things, it's one of the nice things about Mantic stuff as well. Even though this is a different game, you're looking at this and there's things that you will see and immediately be familiar with if you've got or played the other game. So, you know, there's item tokens here for searching, the wounds, the health points, movement, again, the threat dial, used in a different way, but essentially doing the same thing for us. So, flip that one over so you can see the back on that. Not sure if you would care about the back on it, but we're looking at it anyway. Then we're down now. I think these ones are zombie ones. Now this one I have at no point have I actually got to see this one in the flesh, other than other than photographs online. So this one is totally new to me in that regard. And I haven't even had time to watch any of the play vids on it. I've read a couple of blogs from guys who have played it and seem to quite enjoy it. To my mind, this one almost comes across as more of a board game, but I think that is because it's just got like the rule test. It's kind of a dungeon bash game in some respects too. So we've a few tokens have obviously popped out onto the box here. Oh, and another one. So where will we start with this one? We'll just keep going with the paper bits, I think, because that's kind of where we're at. And yeah, okay, so there we go. We've got another. We'll show you this, sorry, because this is another class of games that give you this, just get better points in my humble opinion. So this box is again done out with its sort and tray. So we've got somewhere for the miniatures to live, somewhere for dice and counters and tokens to live. We've got our little arrow again. We've got our dice, and if you've watched the last part of our vid there, you'll recognise these from the other game. We've got a huge stack of terrain tiles. So these are the rooms that will form our board. Oh, go back in there, guys. There we go. And then we have our cards all over here. So this time we've got our event deck. We've got our supply deck, and that is us. And I don't imagine there's something lurking under here. No, there's not. And you can see that they've gone for different artwork so that you're not going to get them confused, because you could easily, if you're not sort of familiar with it all, get it mixed up. Even if you are familiar with it all, you could easily get it mixed up, you know, so give yourself a break. And the miniatures come in a different colour format, I'm fairly sure. Well, the grey ones are still grey though, but the zombies this time are green. It'll be interesting to see. I would be very surprised if we're going to be seeing different zombies or a lot of different zombies, I would expect to see some similarities starting to come through in this one. So here's Negan, and here's Negan reference card. Again, I have no idea what to expect here. Quite excited at this one. So is it going to come out? No, I'm going to have to slice into this one. It seems. Oh, there it is. Somebody's put it in upside down and fooled me. So what are these? These are reference cards for something. This is the Negan reference card. Okay, here's Negan phase. If Negan is adjacent to walkers and or in an unsecured room, he becomes enraged. Otherwise, draw a Negan action card. Negan action card. Move Negan towards a target. With multiple routes. Okay, so Negan is in the game and he seems to operate independently and will do stuff based on his card. We have a Walker reference card. Draw the first player, chooses any target. Start with the closest, move one space towards the nearest survivor. Token enters line of sight, stop, reveal it, and place walkers. So the tokens that we've seen earlier might be walkers or might not be. Or they could be multiple walkers. Cool. So then we're into our characters. And we have John. And these are the colours of dice that he's going to have in the various skills available. And empty card slot. And then these little plastic tabs that they were talking about will be going in here to slide up and down on gaining and losing rep. Because remember, again, you're trying to win Negan's favour and get the job as one of his lieutenants. So it'll be about achieving the most rep there too. So basic weapon, and he's got a slot for getting something else. Tara. Okay, so no shoot skill at all there, but good defense and a basic enough fight. Same otherwise. It's got a special roll too. Laura, resourceful, may perform the same action twice in her activation. Cool. Oh, look at that. Comes with knife and machine gun, but makes noise. Okay, cool. Sherry, fight, shoot, and defense, pistol, and knife. Insightful. I spend an action to immediately perform an action with another survivor. Okay. And Dwight with the crossbow. Very nice. Okay. Love that. I kind of like the big oversized cards as well, because obviously you're only playing with one character, so it's, you know, just makes it kind of more meaty in your hand. Everybody likes a bit of meat in their hand. So that's those dealt with. So let's take a quick trip through the rulebook. This is, to be fair, this feels like a slightly heftier book as well. So don't know what to expect here. Table of contents, a run through of everything it is. Now that's nice too, because there's all the components, so you can identify what they are, get familiar with their names before you're even kicking off. And then a fairly similar affair to what we've seen with the All-Out War, running us through each of the components, what they're about, a little bit of detail there on that, which is good. Tiles, how they're going to work, defining what the areas mean on them. Key concepts, line of sight, how a game round works, how barricades work, how movement works, running, entering a room, holding your nerves, securing a room, other actions. The Walker phase, what the zombies can do. Walker attacks. Negan's rage. And the end phase. So for that there, that first section of the book is pretty much explanation. It's here's what you're letting yourself in for. And then setting up game. How scenarios work, how you win, who's top dog, and then boom, scenario 1, training day, scenario 2, anyone home. So this is showing you the tiles and how you're going to set them up, and then any special win conditions, any special rules applicable to each scenario as well. So nice that this is much more of a story. The first game is very much a me versus you. And there's a bit of a story in there as we try to be the one to get an objective and harm the other party. This one is very much moving through stories, trying to obtain an overall objective. Both fully campaignable. But this is just that side of tighter little group game, which is nice too. Weapons, lockers, guns and ammo, supply run. Yeah. I mean, as much as there was the terrain to dress up the other game with the terrain booster, I would say if you're scanning around the Mantic page, you can't help but notice things what they call terrain crates and stuff. And there's more terrain crates coming, and there is the scope if you wanted to dress this up with like bits of furniture, bookcases, or shelving units, or whatever for the game that fits the mode. You can do that as well with a bit of picking and choosing with that. But again, there's no need for it at all. In fact, your barricades, if you had both games, your barricades and your little objective counters, if you bought the terrain booster, you're going to be able to use them in this as well. Boardroom, scenario room, chairman, survival mode, and determining the winner. And then again, quick reference. And you'll notice that the quick reference in the back of this rulebook is an awful lot less densely packed. It's more straightforward, less stuff to worry about, because it's a simpler kind of a game in that regard. When it's that kind of dungeon bash idea, each person is only responsible for their one model, and everyone's playing the same game together. So there's an awful lot less required to reference there. But anyway, let's look at exciting stuff. Set that down there. So yeah, we'll take a look at the tiles. So I'm just going to shove this box off to the side for now. And we'll just rattle through these. The tiles are double-sided, I notice. So that's nice. Extra mileage out of those. So we'll just run through. I mean, I don't know that you really need me coming. Do you want a little bit of a closer gander at them? Would that help you? We'll try and keep them nice and tight and neat for you if we possibly can. And we'll just kind of bomb through these. I don't think you need me rattling on at you. Though it's kind of weird to go completely quiet, so I'll kind of just mumble or something. Sing a song, hum a tune. Any requests? So there we go. Some darkened corridors, stairwells. It is very dark and kind of grimy looking, this abandoned building, obviously. And then the other side, not expecting much difference. There might be a couple of brighter rooms, hopefully. Bigger open areas. Definitely some narrower ones. Little one-way corridors. A lot of tight spots to get stuck in. Pillars to run around there as well. It's almost like a parking lot. Somebody's cushion, I don't know, rug or something sitting there too. Somebody must have been sleeping in the loading bay. Radiation signs, that's comforting. Okay, so fairly standard fare terrain-wise in that regard. Pop that in. The dice, I don't think you really need to see much more than the fact that there's a couple less than the other game and a couple of symbol dice not used. This is, in that regard, more straightforward. We take a look at these cards. So, if we can get it to pop open, always worry about damaging the cards by yanking it out too quickly. So, event cards, these are all the event cards for this one, and again we'll just rattle through them with you here. No point labouring on what they are. Cry for help, breakout, noises in the dark, a couple of them. What was that? Roamers, breakout, roamers, that's like random zombies turning up there. +2 threat level. So like a threat level increase for all these two. And then what's actually happening with the card. Plus dice for threat level. Panic fire, choose survivor. Better rivals, more roamers. You had one job to do. Drawn to conflict. So quite a few repeats of things. Secure facility. Spooked. Sweary word. No, wait, over there. No, wait, over there. They're everywhere, man. They're in the room. Okay. So most of those bad and seemingly create the situation where it's going to get worse. So let's see what we've got in supplies and items, shall we? So supply, rooms. Oh, we've got supplies and rooms. Sorry, right, okay, supplies and rooms. Oh no, Negan action deck. I was wondering where that was, and that's where it is. Negan action, and those are all rooms. This is what, basically, kick in the door, this is what you're going to be finding. And most of them so far there seem to be resolved on some form of a dice roll to decide what transpires. Flooded rooms, alarms, vents, motherlode, sanctuary, rotted floor, breach, collapsed wall, overspill, fire, overspill, collapsed ceiling, lockdown, and booby trap. Okay, cool. I like the look of that. So different things can occur to you when you pop in through the rooms. Let's take a look at the Negan actions. Probably another set of, alright, so movement form. Right, so he is totally autonomous in this. He is literally going to be controlled fully by the deck, and whatever card comes out is what Negan is going to be doing. Okay, that's fair enough. So you might be fortunate enough that he's near you and takes action that's going to help you and saves you. You might not. No one has to die today. Here's a class. Loving the artwork on it, all grabbed from the comic book too. It does not move. I'm sick of you. Work your way to the exit. Cute, like that. That's kind of fun. And then the supplies. This is going to be our stuff then. I am taking it. Cash, handgun, liking the artwork for these. Grenade, factory blueprint, metal pole, sledgehammer, fire axe, wrench, knife, lucky charm, ammo reload, master keys, fire extinguisher, toolkit, bandages, medication. There we are, lurker, glass bottle, makeshift padding, angle grinder, emergency supplies, and cigars. Close, but no cigar. Okay, so rattle through them for you. That's the dice. Oh, look, that's nice. You do get some extra baggies for keeping like the card decks and stuff in. Let me stop them rattling around on you, or for dividing out other tokens. Probably for keeping tokens in, actually. I would imagine to keep them separate. That would make an awful lot more sense. Okay, so zombies. Let's have a look at the lurkers, the walkers. I'll come out a little bit from that. Sorry if I have been rabbiting on a bit too much. Hopefully not. Tried to keep it fairly succinct. So yeah, okay, we are seeing the same zombies in a different colour from the other game. That's fine. Kind of geared up that we were probably going to do that. So that's pretty much a good chunk of the first set. We've got a couple of head swaps on some of the bodies. I think that looks a lot like Eddie from the first Iron Maiden cover. Let's see if this bag offers anything different to that mix. Not that it needs to. I'm quite happy with what it is. Yep, seen her. No, there's a new. No, she was in it as well. Sorry. Yep. Okay, so it's a repeat of our walkers from the other game, and that's cool. You know what? Who cares, really? It's fine. What's there? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 zombies again. So that's cool. And just a wee different colour. Probably that's got maybe more to do with actually packing them for the game. in factories so that they know that they're putting the right ones in the right set. So our characters, there's our first player token. That's class. I am so giving that to my action man. Excellent. So we'll nip in here a little bit closer again for you, try and get these characters on screen. Should have kept their cards out for you. Yeah, I do have their cards here. Let's see if we can find out who everybody is and try and get them right. So this, John. Okay, so this is John with his crowbar. Looks like he's got a little wireless walkie-talkie there too. Yeah, that's nice. Like that. We have Negan himself, obviously. Looking like he is king of the hill there. But that is kind of class. Like that. Just leave Negan there a second. That is Tara. So, knife skill, no shoot skill. Oops, sorry. Knife skill and no shoot skill. For some reason, wearing her belt seemingly like halfway down her trousers. Don't know what that's about. It's not going to be very helpful, I would imagine. This is Sherry, I think. Pretty sure that's Sherry. Looks like Sherry, the handgun. Oh, and she's there. There's the knife as well. And she's got her own little backpack of goodies. That's Laura with her M16. So again, she should have a knife because probably they've modelled it on her. Yeah, there it is. They've all been modelled with the equipment that they've got for the game. Looks hardcore. Doesn't want to take any nonsense. And who have we got here? That's Dwight. It is, because there's the crossbow on the back. I was looking for the crossbow as being actually the weapon of choice out, but it's not. They've gone for the knife as the weapon of choice. Yeah, I've got to say again, really nice minis. Cannot fault the minis at all. So there we go. That is it. That's everything thrown at you, pretty much, folks. There's Negan. I think if we went on any more of that, we kind of labour the point. I mean, you know, two very different games set within the same game world. Probably, now don't quote me on this one, you would need to check this out yourself. I would imagine at some level, be it fan made or Mantic made, there will be cards for the people in this. Here's Negan, to be able to be used in All Out War. Obviously, the cards and stats that they've got in Here's Negan are not applicable, but the miniatures themselves are the same size. Okay, so I'm fairly sure that they will have done crossover cards that allow you to get that little bit of added value by having both games and being able to use your beloved miniatures in one or t'other. Not sure if they've done anything that allows you to take All Out War people into Here's Negan, because again, it's a different beast, different kind of thing in that regard. So I would be very surprised if that was the case. I'm prepared to be surprised. Feel free to surprise me. But I don't think you're going to. But there we go. That was the quick run through. As I say, Mantic at the start of this, just at the minute, but you know, doesn't change the value of the video. If this is now like a month and a half later, and Mantic are no longer doing a special offer, so what? You can still get to look at this and see what's inside those core games. Not sure with live videos how it works when they post it. If there's any questions about it, or something you see sort of want to know more about, feel free to post a question. We do actually look at the replies quite often. We have even managed to reply to them, and we will continue to try and do that for you. Hopefully you've enjoyed the little bit of a look at those toys from Mantic, and if it has inspired you at all to nip over and check them out, then do so, and do so with haste. I'm not sure how long their current offer is on for, but they will be running these offers for quite some time. Now, again, as I say, don't know how this works, but sitting on our shelf is also Star Saga, Mantic sci-fi dungeon crawl in space, game for 1 to 5 players. Not going to look at that right now, but if that is something that when you've seen this one you would like to know more about and think that it's something that we should do an unboxing with, perhaps rather like we have done this one, then by all means give us a like, fire it in the comments. When you're sitting there, hit subscribe as well. It's like hugging us, but you don't have to touch us, which is fortunate because at the minute you can't. You're not allowed to. Okay, so don't. But that's it. If you have joined us, thank you very much. Hope it was at least of some interest and open to criticism, comment, even compliments, but we're not going to expect too many of them, as long as it's civil and constructive. And yeah, with that, I think we shall probably call it there and let you lovely people get on with the rest of your evening. Thanks for tuning in. As I say, if you're interested in getting a look at Star Saga and seeing a little bit of what's in there and what it's about, give us a comment, give us a like down here, say yes, show us Star Saga, we want to see Star Saga, that'll be class. And don't forget to hit subscribe, which is somewhere about the page as well, probably. Alright, have a great night and see you again at another time. Bye bye for now.